lead alongside Clement Colmas. Third is Connor Baxter, just on the back of those two, and Arthur Arutkin in 4. You can see the camera on board giving us a nice little 360 there. So yeah, this is super cool for all the paddlers, I think, to say they've been cruising past Big Ben, a very iconic and historic weekend here. What you're seeing is Westminster Bridge that they are about to.
Which bridge is that?
Yeah.
It's really cool to see Big Ben. Last time we were here, it was under repair. It kind of looks
okay,
like
cool.
maybe
So
possibly it's open now.
Yeah, they redid the face. Clement taking a little squat there. Cool. So yeah, flying under Westminster Bridge there, the 4 out in front. Dave, pop quiz.
Yes.
How many bridges are there across the Thames in London?
Man, why are you doing that? Okay, I'm going to give you multiple choice.
Go on, okay, I'll give you multiple choice. 10, 22, 43, 35.
Oh my gosh. I'll go in London.
Yeah.
I will go 10.
35.
Dang. Okay, so here's the first look at the chase pack, you guys. Thanks for tuning in. We have just turned on. We had some issues earlier, so we're jumping into this race just like you and seeing what's unfolding here. It looks like Rai Taguchi is leading that chase pack on the outside. That looks like
Kalen Lockhart.
Yeah, that is Kalen Lockhart behind him.
Ludovic and Shrimpy. So Ludovic Toulard and Shrimpy alongside each other there. And that probably is Tom Aubert, followed by Christian Anderson on the Fanatics there. Yeah. So Tom Aubert's had a great weekend. And so that is your chasing pack. And you can see as they're going under the bridge here, so this is, as I say, I can't stress again, so the River Thames in this part is tidal and there is a huge flow. It's being funneled down these big embankments. There you go, you can see them now passing the iconic London Eye built for the Millennium. And you can, if you just watch the rise and fall of the boards, you hopefully start to get an impression of the sort of choppiness. You get a lot of reverb bounce back off the walls, off the boats. It's a tricky body of water to paddle, so they're doing a great job cruising along here.
Yeah, they're supposed to be telling us what we're doing.
Again, just if you're joining the live feed, so this race started out in Battersea. They went upstream, so sort of westwards for a short while before turning at the Battersea Rail Bridge. After which they are now going entirely with the tide. High tide this morning on the River Thames at Teddington Lock was 7:30, so they are in fast flowing water. It can hit up to sort of 7 or so knots. So you can stand there and do nothing and fly.
It's always nice to get a little helping hand from the current, especially in these distance races. I think a lot of the guys, they probably imagine it more as a quote-unquote flat water race.
Yeah.
So if you're new to the Thames, it's not a river you're allowed to paddle in. It's actually quite treacherous. Lots of big ships, a lot of moving current. If you even just walk along the Thames and you walk over the bridge, it's daunting water. It's dirty. It's kind of unruly, and so it's really cool that they get the opportunity to paddle in the river for one. But as well, I think more than a few of the racers might have got caught off guard. Like how actually choppy it is. Looks like we got Holly on the boat.
really holding them off. But let's see how it goes. Still got a lot of race to go. The weather's still beautiful. We've got lines of people watching. Great day. Back to you guys in the studio.
Thank you, Holly. We were unable to hear what she was saying, but she was probably giving a good update to what's going on. Yeah. That's a great shot right there, though. That is the chase pack you're watching. The front pack includes Daniel Jasulio, Clement Comas, Connor Baxter, as well as
Arthur Rutkin.
So this is the chase pack right here. Who's in this pack, Liam?
We've got Rai Taguchi leading this chasing pack. Caelan Lockhart in there. Tom Aubert, Christian Anderson. So I believe the bridge in the background there you just went under, you can see here they're having to deal with and navigate around vessels. You can see the water activity going on. This looks like Esperanza.
Yeah, first look at the women's. I'm assuming Esperanza is currently in the lead.
Just having a look in the background for the pub on the Thames. There we go. There's a great landmark for you.
Yep. So as we get a look at the first look at the women's, looks like Esperanza is possibly in the lead, and Esperanza finishing second yesterday in the sprints, and I think she's more known for her distance paddling. So a second place yesterday, and currently in the lead today. This is shaping up to be a really good event for her.
Yeah. No, super cool, and that is just looking at the sort of bridge that she's coming up to. That actually looks like the Hungerford Bridge that she's approaching. So that's actually just behind that chasing pack that we saw. But this must be the lead woman's participant.
Yeah, and the interesting thing, Ian, is that she's the only one in frame. I wonder where the other women are.
Yeah.
April Gilga's been having an unreal year. Juliet Duheim's also been paddling really strong.
April yesterday was talking about how she was sort of really looking, she wanted to try and get those sort of reverb waves, that move in water, just to catch any sort of any ripple she can. But I think the reality of that on that water, the water's moving in so many different directions, bouncing off different elements, and it's a tricky body to manage. And as Dave was saying earlier, I don't know if you heard, but it's not somewhere you can just sort of rock up and paddle. This is, organised. You need permission from the Port of London Authority. So it's, as I say, as much as these guys will be really enjoying this race, it really is an experience to get to cruise along this section of river. And I think particularly today, obviously we're coming actually into an area where those guys have passed Westminster Bridge. Just beyond Westminster Bridge is Westminster Abbey, where the Queen is currently lying in state. And what you will see now, and what the paddlers will sort of realise, that Esperanza's taken a sharp turn off here. Now, is this a decision to come in, or is this a decision to just look for a cleaner path? Maybe there's some boat traffic she's seeing ahead and trying to get out of that way. I can't tell you guys if I don't know if you're following the live tracker, and that might give you a sense, but with the flow of this river and the pace that these pro athletes can deliver, they are really travelling along this water. I mean, this is fast flowing.
Yeah, and just for a reminder, you can follow along on the GPS. Which app is that on?
It's a good question. If you go to the APP tour pages, they have a link to this.
Yeah, if you guys want to follow even closer, go to appworldtour.com and it'll link you to the GPS tracker, and you can follow along and look for individual racers and see what placing they are. And what you're looking at right now is the lead pack. Looks like Daniel Jasulio closest to us on his own, and it looks like Clement Comas and Connor Baxter 1-2, and it looks like Arthur Rutkin in third.
Interesting, they've just sort of taken Clement and Connor, just sort of overtaken Daniel there in the last little stretch.
Yeah, And you'll see the Husulios do that, as well as like Michael Booth. They like to go off on their own and kind of test it and see if they can push, maybe break the pack. And
I think keep on catching up a little bit. Let's go a little.
Like he's not breaking them and making a move. He'll slide back in there for sure. But over the course of the distance race, there's always some technicalities going on that maybe you might not see directly. But Connor just sitting there in second place. Clement has taken over the lead.
You can see the crowds in the background there queuing along the embankment, and obviously that is to see the Queen, who is lying in state, as we said earlier, over at Westminster Abbey. There is a planned paddle out as a mark of respect a little later today after this event, which should be quite special. Here they're flying past the. They're flying past the Tate Modern at the moment. Again, just like this iconic backdrops of London. And if you look just to the left there, that building that you can see is actually Shakespeare's Globe Theatre, which is a fantastic venue for if you're into your arts as well. This is Clement and Connor really in the flow of this river. I just think this is so cool. I mean, I'd love to know. I can't wait to chat to the guys afterwards and just sort of see like how much opportunity there is that they collared the sort of the happenings around them, the buildings and all of that sort of stuff going on. I'm sure there's a few people in that queue in the background wondering what on earth these people are doing, but do they know they are witnessing some incredible paddlers out there on the water. So Arthur has grabbed the tail of Connor, so we've got a little trio there leading out. I'd be interested if we can catch a glimpse of, there's Claudio Nica. Be interested if we can get a glimpse of what has happened to Daniel. He seemed to have sort of pulled to the side of that lead pack.
Yeah, before that last frame, he was down by himself, like quite a far away.
Yeah.
I'm guessing trying to search for some faster water.
Yeah.
And, a good story here is Connor Baxter in second, because after his win yesterday in the sprints, even himself was, he wasn't looking to be a contender in this distance race.
Yeah.
He mentioned that a top 5 for him he'd be completely happy with, but he's sitting right there in the driver's seat in second place, and he's looking really strong. Like both these guys are looking really strong. Clement's paddling excellent, and I think Arthur Rukin's probably pretty stoked he's in third as well.
Yeah.
So look how choppy that water's getting here, guys.
So that's Blackfriars Rail Bridge they've just passed under. So they are Cannon Street next, followed by Southwark Rail Bridge, London, and then it will be Tower Bridge. So that is our finish line, the iconic Tower Bridge. I mean, you can really get a sense of that moving water, and especially as they went under the bridge, I don't know if you'll notice there just how much it kicks up a little bit where it's bouncing off the footings of the bridge.
Yeah, I love these side shots when
wow,
there's chop. You can really see how the design of the boards, work.
So this is super close to the finish. I mean, the guys there are approaching, and Clement was just about to go under London Bridge, made famous, of course, by the song. Do you want to sing that for us, Dave? No.
Need a couple pints first,
yeah.
and I'll start.
There's a famous story that is verifiable, but that the Americans bought London Bridge, which is why it was falling down. They dismantled it and sold it to Americans.
Hey, but check this out.
They bought the wrong bridge.
Arthur ditched out from third. He's making a move right now.
He is.
He's off to his side. You can see that his cadence has picked up quite a bit, and he was side by side with Connor, so Connor's going to see that with Connor. We're going to see that was finished.
Claudio's away back there at Claudio's away Tate Modern again, so he is a wee bit off that pace of those lead 3.
Yeah, and that's a sneaky one. I wonder if they're showing Claudio he might be in 4th. I'm
maybe, yeah. Where has Daniel gone? Yeah. You can see how much he's got to work to sort of get in position as they go around these bridges. There's also, according to the rules of the river, you need to be paddling on the right-hand side of it.
So opposite of the car.
Yeah. So,
all right, you guys, looks like we're going to throw down to Holly on the boat with a little update. Take it away, Holly.
Is that Daniel? No.
And we are at the final section of the distance race at the London Sup Open. The Tower Bridge is in sight. The lead paddlers are coming up to the bridge, and it's getting very exciting. Clement Colmas took the lead, but Conor Baxter is right on his tail. For the ladies, SB Barreras is still leading. Apparently she's absolutely dominating the field. We still have a slight bit to go, so there's still time to make the moves, but it's looking exciting. I can also see Tower Bridge and Tower of London there, so it's all very, very exciting. Great to be here. Back to you guys in the studio.
Back to the Globe and the Tate. Who have we got?
That looks like Esperanza.
That looks like Esperanza. So lead lady by the looks of this here.
Yeah, and Esperanza appears to have a huge lead. I didn't see
I've
any
not
other
seen,
women in that wider pan.
The challenge of filming these sorts of events. We've got 3 boats out there with cameras trying to capture different moments. I'd be interested to see where the lead guys are now, because I quite frankly imagine they have crossed the finish line. There is Esperanza under Blackfriars Bridge. So she is getting close to the finish line as well. I'm pleased for Esperanza. I think this is awesome. She's had a busy season, a good season, and really pushed April yesterday. And here she's definitely taken the charge in the women's race.
Yeah, and Esperanza looking super strong, and this is going to be a great result for her. You can see the different cadences when they're reaching into the chop. It's fun to see.
Oh, there we go. Finish line. So who? Oh, they've taken a seat, maybe because they've won it.
Oh no, it's looks like Clement won.
It was Clement, yeah, Clement and Arthur there.
Wow, so Arthur was able to overtake Conor Baxter. Clement Colmas gets first place. Arthur Rukin in second.
Oh, I'm delighted for Arthur after his frustration yesterday in the sprint, falling at the start. But that is a superb paddle from those two guys.
Look at the current.
Look how fast they're doing. Nothing, absolutely flown through. So like this must be back to Esperanza again leading ladies. So this is now her under London Bridge, which is the penultimate. So literally past this, and it is not even a kilometre, maybe, yeah, to Tower Bridge. Who's that passing through? That must be Daniel, maybe.
Daniel in fourth.
And then this
chase pack for the top 5.
It'll be interesting who's going to claim that one. So we've got
Tom Aubert,
Tom Aubert.
Oh no, that's
Ludovic. Yeah, Ludovic Toulard.
Polar Bear.
Tom Aubert, followed by Polar Bear, Christian Anderson. And so I can only assume Raya Taguchi is just behind those guys, out of shot. So that's going to cross the Tower Bridge finish line. Some paddling. That is fast. So this was a just shy of 12k course by my watch. That's 45 minutes maybe. Who can we see here?
Yep, so your top. All right, so like we're heading down to Holly to get an interview. You can see Clement approaching the boat. We're going to get that interview in just a moment. But it looks like your top 3 was Clement Colmas. Arthur Rukin was able to overtake Conor Baxter at the end there, and third place is Conor Baxter. So winner of the sprint race in Westcoast, the top 3 finish. Conor can be stoked with that. Fourth place, I believe, is Daniel Vesuvio. Fifth place is Tom Aubert. Sixth place was hard to tell from that angle, but it was either Christian Andersen or Ludovic.
Ludovic. It was Ludovic just ahead of Christian, I believe.
Okay, so Ludovic, Christian Andersen, and Rai Taguchi. I believe that's your top 7.
Just looking at the rider there, I think that may be one of the young Spanish riders, Ivan de Frutos. Which for him looks like a super strong paddle. So that's HMS Belfast you're seeing in the background there. Active museum now. Look at the board kicking up over that. So I think I'm sort of trying to look at the screen you're looking at as well. I think possibly just ahead of him now, passing under the bridge, is Blue Ewer, just past. And I think possibly Itzel Delgado has also just crossed the line, just ahead of the shots we're seeing here. As I say, this is Ivan de Frutos approaching the finish line. You can see more London behind you there. That's the mayor's office, this little dome-shaped building to the left.
All right, looks like we're going to drop down to Holly with the interview of the winner of the distance
hello,
race,
and
Clement
we're at the
Clement.
finish line of the London Sub Open distance race with our winner, Clement Comas. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Oh wait, hang on. Oh. Okay, are we? Finish line of the London Sub Open distance race. So we're here with the winner, Clement Comas. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Tell us, how was the race?
Was a tough one. Was a lot of level.
So,
Glad to get the first place. And strategy was drifting when it's flat, and then as soon as you get strobes, just paddle harder against some bumps. It was actually what happened. So very glad.
And you were kind of in Daniel's train, and you kind of kept trying to battle him. How was that?
Yeah, with Daniel. Daniel started very strong, so I was behind, drafting him, trying to keep some energy, save some power to paddle harder at the end. I was hoping some shops, and it arrived, so I'm glad to have this condition on this river. It was very fun with the stream, so really appreciate that race.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much again.
Thank you. Let's go back to the women's.
Celebration picture, is that right? If you come around the front, face us,
We're just trying to get a shot. I think young Will Keatley, UK rider, is just coming up to the line.
all right, you guys, you're looking at Esperanza, the winner of the women's distance race, just crossing the line there. We just heard from Clement Comas, passing your screen right there. He won the distance race in the men's.
And if the tracker is to be believed, I believe it might be April Zilg is just crossing the line in second for the women's race. You can see Clement now making his way back upstream a little bit.
Yeah, looks like some paddlers coming under the bridge right there. It'd be nice to get a zoom in on the finish line here.
I hope all these paddlers are enjoying this moment. This is Clement here, showboating for the cameras. I'm sure there's a few people walking across Tower Bridge.
Yeah, you can see right there on the right of your screen, that is April.
Yeah, it's April,
second place.
Well done, April.
Clement's psyching on something again, and there he is.
Yeah, he's loving it.
Oh, maybe he's getting the Instagram Reels replay for his socials. Yeah. Well, he deserves it. Clement, just a beast mode on this distance race. So it looks like April crossed second
in the women's.
We'll love to see who's coming in third, fourth, fifth.
That looks like Dan Miller there, is that? Of Canada, just in front of us with the white cap.
Yeah, looks like
great performance with him. He's swapped his board out for today.
Dan got a loaner board.
Yeah. And that looked like young Hector Jessel there as well, I think, possibly on his strike. So that's a great performance from Hector. He'll be delighted with that. April there, just passing your screen. As we say, second in the women's distance race there. So that's a great weekend's work for April. And
Yeah,
who
I'm
have we
curious
got
to
coming
see
in?
because they swapped places, right? So April got first in the sprints, Esperanza got
So second, yeah.
Now they just swapped it. Esperanza got first. I'm not sure what the tiebreaker goes to
Yeah.
for the overall.
Let's see who we got here. Is that Juliet?
It looks like Juliet coming across the line in third, and they're going to drop down to Holly, I'm assuming with
Well done,
Esperanza,
Juliet.
the winner of the distance women's race.
Sorry, SB, just 1 second.
No worries.
You know what it's like.
When are Juliet?
And now here with the women's winner, SV. SV, congratulations.
Thank you very much.
And how was the race?
It was super funny. It was super funny. I tried to make a gap at the beginning before turning the first bridge. That was my plan. And before arriving, I find some boat waves so I could make that gap. And then just I put all my energy to make the gap bigger till here. But I was checking because the other girls were coming super fast.
And you completely dominated the women's field. You know, that was amazing. You were blazing out there.
Well, I just try to do my best in every race, and I'm happy for that.
So first in the distance, second in the sprints. Yeah, how's that feel?
Yeah, I'm super happy with these results. It was my first APP ever, my first long distance here, and my first time paddling in London in a river, so it was everything new for me. I'm super happy for that.
And what were the conditions like out there?
I never expected this kind of conditions. They were like being paddling in almost open ocean, and I love these conditions. Some parts of down current, some parts of upwind as well, and super chop and really funny.
And what was it to have like all the people lining the streets, like you can still see them in the background, and how was that?
Yeah, it was great. I think it was the first time that we have all the people on the bridges saying, come on, you can, let's go, and it's an incredible place for paddling.
And did you manage to look up at the landmarks?
Well, not that much.
Well, congratulations, SV. What a great race. Well done.
Thank you.
And back to you guys in the studio.
All right, congratulations to Esperanza Barrera from Spain. That's a huge win for her. Taking second yesterday in the sprints as well. Thank you, Holly, for that on-the-spot interview.
So what you're seeing at the moment is the paddlers are going to be staying on the water. They're going to paddle upstream just a little bit. You can see the difficulty they have just even sort of staying on the boards. It's actually easier to be going for it and using your momentum to balance, but they're going to just paddle upstream a little bit more to around sort of between where the HMS Belfast is. They will form a sort of traditional paddle out circle, and they will be laying flowers in the water in commemoration of Queen Elizabeth II. There is Rai Taguchi there, just cruising his way back up. And you can really see the lumps there, just where that April was dealing with, just where she's trying to hold position.
Shrimpy.
Hey, Shrimpy, here he is.
Yeah, so it looks like we're going to be hanging out for the finish of this race, and we will be showing a live broadcast of the paddle out.
There's Itzel Delgado there, hailing from Lima in Peru. He is, well, Dave, you know Itzel extremely well, but I can tell you he was looking for a shout out to his Raul, his brother, his mum and dad, H's dog.
Yep, the Delgado family, big fans of the sport, always tuning in, always quickly on the Instagrams.
Yeah.
And we got a lot of love for Itzel Delgado. And we just got word we're waiting for the racers to kind of corral. They're all holding their position. In a few moments, they're going to paddle up, further up, and form a circle, a traditional paddle out, show of respect in the surf world.
Yeah.
And they're going to have a little ceremony. So it'll be cool to watch here. So the guys just holding their line, getting out of the current. It's probably quite a big eddy behind that pylon.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. No, you'd be. Yeah. You see, Itzel's just taken the casual sit down, couple of strokes, hold position. April looks like she's trying to guide a few of the paddlers and show them where they need to be. Yeah, I really hope these paddlers can take a moment to soak it in. This is such a unique opportunity in so many ways. Paddling in this stretch of water under the iconic Tower Bridge. I don't want to say it's a once in a lifetime. The APP have made this happen a few times, but this is not a straightforward thing. It takes a lot of work behind the scenes for this sort of thing to come to pass, and on such a historic weekend with all those crowds along the south bank there in that queue, sort of getting a surprise showcase of the world's best paddlers. There's Daniel just navigating around the camera boat, Claudio there, Connor in the yellow. I'm sure all the guys are just sort of hopefully enjoying this, maybe laughing at the the challenge of staying upright. You can see still it's an active waterway. You've got the tourist vessel in the background there, ribs running up and down.
Yeah, and I learned for the first time there's actually Uber boats.
There are Uber boats in London, yeah.
In California,
And
so I got to try getting an Uber boat to one of the pubs here later.
Yeah, they don't mind throwing a few knots of speed down the river, I'll tell you that.
Rip it up the river. Just like my Uber driver this morning. I was terrified.
Yeah, look at that shot. Awesome. I feel lucky. I was lucky years ago, back in 2011, I paddled under the bridge. It's an incredible feeling.
So before we take paddles, let's put them back.
What's up, you guys? Thanks for tuning in. Dave Bainey here with Ian McCarthy, and we're just hanging out here at the Docklands. We're happy for you to join us here this morning. We had a little delay on the live feed. Now we're just kind of waiting for the ceremony to begin, but we could give you a little recap of the top 5 of the women. First place across the line was Clement Colmas.
Yeah.
Second place was Connor Baxter.
Arthur Rookin.
Right.
Arthur Rookin.
Him at the end right there.
Yeah.
And then Connor Baxter got third. So that's your top 3. I know Connor's going to be excited about that.
Yeah.
He did mention that a top 5 was what he was aiming for. So to do it a couple more, he's got to be stoked.
Yeah.
The women, Esperanza Barrera from Spain finished first, which is a huge result for her as well.
Yeah.
April's been in fine form all year long. April came in second. And from what we saw, it was Juliette Duheim in third.
Yeah.
So that'll be your top 3 women. And we were discussing that, yesterday, April won the sprint.
Yep.
Esperanza got second. Today, Esperanza won the distance.
Yep.
April got second.
Little switcheroo in the 1-2.
In theory, that's a tie. So I'm curious to see what the tiebreaker is. What holds
the impact on their points.
Exactly,
Yeah.
If it's the distance or the sprint. If I had to guess, I believe it's the sprint.
I believe so, but we'll wait for validation. I'm sure Tristan will fill us on that soon. But yeah, no, just a great event. I mean, I can't believe where we sort of were out of sync with the start. It was interesting. I'd be interested to see the actual time of that. I mean, the flow of that river and the pace those guys were going, that was a very fast paddle. Delighted for Clement. He's had an interesting week over here in London. Some interesting disruptions in the night, so I've heard. So I'm delighted for him to pull that performance out and take the win. Arthur, again, after yesterday, stumbling, falling off the board at the start of the sprint, you could see that frustration. So maybe that was that, gritted teeth today, just like really wanting, determined even more to get that result. Followed him by Connor. And as you say, Connor won in that top 5. He'll be pleased with that. So who have we got? So we've got our leading ladies here doing a little paddle through. I'm sure this will be a good little bit of footage. Esperanza there, throwing the shackers, April and Juliet Duhame. That is awesome.
And just look at that current just ripping by that boat. That is your top 3 ladies.
Well done, girls. That's awesome. That's such a cool backdrop with the city of London in there. That's, yeah. Cool. So it looks like that's a little media paddle the 3 leading ladies have just done there. And sort of making their way back to the side and get ready for the commemoration ceremony. You see the work they've got to do to get back upstream. The Shard and the Mayor's building in the background.
Yeah, I actually we went down to the Shard the other day for
cool.
the first time.
Yeah.
And I guess it's the highest building.
It's now the highest building in London.
Yeah,
yep.
and 360 view. We got to.
Oh, did you go up? Yeah, awesome,
it's fun
cool.
Because they give you a map and they point out the landmarks.
Yeah.
And,
There's some view up there.
To kind of.
Good cocktail bar up there as well.
That was to my surprise. Yeah, very good actually. We spent a little more time than we probably should have up there.
Yeah, here we are on Esperanza and April. Juliet, they're chilling. So I think they are just waiting on a few more paddlers coming through before they start this ceremony. It's interesting, you know, a lot of the paddlers really want to take part in this and pay their respects. They feel very fortunate to have been allowed to continue this event in the circumstances, and this is a real opportunity for them to sort of pay those respects back. And what I think will be quite a special ceremony.
Yeah, we want to thank you guys again for tuning in to the live broadcast. We did get a late start. It's been quite the event, lots of hurdles to even have this event go down. So the APP is super stoked to come away with some sprints and pull off this distance race. And if you're just tuning in now,
I think this is, but while there's this little lull in activity as we wait for the final paddlers to cruise through, you know, it is a moment. I think Tristan might not thank us for this, but I think, you know, a little mark of appreciation to Tristan for his efforts to see this event through in very challenging circumstances. To Christian and the team, the media crew have done a fantastic job in what is challenging to relay these sorts of images. The Port of London Authority for allowing and permitting this long distance event on the river today. There's a lot of people, different parts and elements come through to do this. Where we're sat now, the Docklands Water Sports Sailing Club, you know, helping with facilities for the sprint events yesterday and later today. There's some more events going on here. So, you know, it really has been a big collective effort, but a big shout out to Tristan and all at the APP for working hard to make this happen.
all right, looks like we're going to throw down to Holly on the boat and check in with her.
That's exactly.
And we're here at the finish line of the London Sub Open distance race. We had Clement Colmas win for the boys and we had Espe Barrias win for the ladies. It's been an absolutely amazing race. The conditions were almost like ocean, and the weather's been amazing, and we've had people lining the streets watching the race. It's just been spectacular. We're now preparing to do a paddle out for Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II in memory of her life and celebrating with the paddlers. It's such a significant time in London now, and there's queues and queues of people to witness the funeral of Queen Elizabeth tomorrow. So it is so significant, and it's so lucky we get to be a part of it. So all our paddlers in traditional waterman tradition will be paddling out and throwing flowers in memory of her and in celebration of her life, which is, you know, just to show our respect and celebrate what is such a significant and historic time here in London. So we're just preparing for that now. We're giving out the flowers and getting the paddlers out, and then we're going to do a paddle out. So stand by and watch us pay our respects. Over to you, Dave. Okay, we good?
All right, thank you, Holly. Checking in from the water's edge there.
Bringing the marks in.
Yep, so we're just waiting for the ceremony. We're doing a paddle out.
Okay, so you can see the paddlers now making their way up the river as part of this ceremony to commemorate Queen Elizabeth II. Reigned for 70 years and 214 days, I'm reliably informed. The longest of any British monarch, the longest recorded female head of state in history, and a loss that has been felt by the whole UK and across the world, as you know, international sympathy is shared. And so here's a real special moment for this community of paddlers to pay our respects to a quite unique and outstanding head of state.
Yeah, and that's a cool shot with all the athletes on that draft wake.
Yeah. The Tower of London in the background there, famous nowadays more for holding the crown jewels, but a very suitable place to have this commemoration of Queen Elizabeth II. You can see Rye here in front of us. That's actually Blue Ewer, just in the background on the blue board, UK paddler. I'm sure the sense of ceremony and the impact here will not be lost on any of the paddlers, but for those UK reps in there, I'm sure it means even more. Evander Frutos accepting the flower from Tristan to take out. Sergio Cantarol, the young Spanish rider. Dan Miller there, Canadian. Claudio Nica just accepting the flower. Juliet here. A really world-class field of paddlers. Holly Pye, fantastic lead UK paddler. Again, this will mean a lot to her. It's Christian Anderson, Shrimpy past our screen. Kaylin Lockhart there.
Chloe's making a move to get it. She can't miss that flower.
Yeah. You can see them gritting them in their teeth. There's very little places to carry that while you're trying to maintain position on this board in this water.
Pretty impressed not one paddler fell in grabbing that rose.
Yeah.
see all the people on the docks up there.
Yeah, I think this is a very special moment. You can see the queue along the south bank there, people going to pay their respects at Westminster Abbey to the Queen lying in state, as the sort of some of the best paddlers in the world line up to mark their respects in a traditional paddle out ceremony where they will soon lay flowers in the water.
Yeah, traditionally you form a circle.
Yeah.
I'm curious to see.
Well,
if they could pull that off.
I think it was accepted that it would be very difficult to form the traditional circle, so they are lining up together as the flow will carry them.
Yeah, that looks cool.
Yeah, that's awesome. Do you know, Dave, I did actually some research. I was looking through quotes from the Queen to use in this moment, and I think she once said, "I believe that young or old, we have as much to look forward to with confidence and hope as we have to look back on with pride." And I think in this moment, as a nation mourns their monarch, this is a wonderful moment for the paddle community to represent, pay their respects. And I think that quote demonstrates what we feel about our sport at the moment. There is as much to look forward to with confidence and hope as we have to look back on with pride. And you can see the flowers being thrown to the water, the splashes and the cheers of celebration for Queen Elizabeth II. So I hope the cameras have remained on the paddlers there. Take a moment's silence. A great mark of respect from the group. Glad the cameras weren't on the studio. I might have got something in my eye during the middle of that.
All right, guys. What a cool event. Looks like we're gonna throw down to Holly to get her final thoughts, and we'll come back here in the booth and close out the weekend. But down to you, Holly, on the boat.
Okay, so here we are on the boat after doing the paddle out for Queen Elizabeth II. The streets were lined with people watching the paddle out. They were all waiting to see Queen Elizabeth's coffin. So I think to them it was incredibly touching, and they were all clapping, and then the athletes flew flowers in the air and started splashing. It was very touching and spectacular display of something that's so historic in the city. The race today has just been amazing. The athletes were saying it was like ocean conditions with the currents and the waves, so it was truly exciting to watch, and it was great to be boat side when all that was happening. And Espy was a favourite in the distance race, of course, and she absolutely smashed it. And Clement Colmas was a little bit, I would say, an underdog for the weekend. He did great in the sprints yesterday and then won today. So, I mean, in the overall leaderboards, he's going to be, scoring big. So, 2 starboard riders today winning in the sprints, and then yesterday we had April Zilg and Connor Baxter in the sprints. So it's been an incredible weekend of racing. Some of the best racers from all around the world have assembled in London for not only the London Sup Open but also a celebration for Queen Elizabeth as well. And tomorrow we actually will head on a big trip to Korea for ready for next weekend at the Busan Sup Open. A group of our athletes and us are flying on a 24-hour road trip to Korea tomorrow. So that's going to be crazy, but we have another weekend of racing ahead next weekend, live streaming it all, and it's going to be ocean races next weekend. So slightly different to this weekend, but it's going to be just as exciting, just as thrilling, all the thrills and spills of ocean races that we love. We're going to wrap up here. It's been great to be your host this weekend, and I will see you next weekend in Busan. Over and out. Over to you, Dave. Thank you.
Thank you, Holly. And the weekend's been amazing.
Awesome.
We had some amazing sprint racing, finishing today off with a dramatic, emotional distance race here in the River Thames. And like Holly said, we're straight into it to Korea.
Yeah.
Next week. Give you some final thoughts of what you felt about the weekend, about the distance race, and of course everything that's happened here.
I think it's just been an awesome weekend. Having the best paddlers out there in the world here in London, representing great sprint events yesterday here, and the distance race today, the day before the funeral of Queen Elizabeth II. I think first of all, if I talk about the race itself, just fantastic. I'm delighted for Clement. I think that's brilliant. Arthur, I'm super stoked for him after yesterday. Esperanza and April sort of sharing those victories across the sprints and the distances. Great racing. What a great arena to paddle in at a sort of historic moment in time. And I hope all those paddlers out there have just really soaked up that experience and really rounded off with just a very nice, respectful paddle out, and I think that was a sort of beautiful ceremony to wrap up what has been a really exciting weekend of racing.
Well said. And after the results, we'll probably congratulate Connor Baxter on the overall victory. He'll hang on to the world's title ranking. He's sitting in first place. Clement's going to get some nice points.
Yeah.
I believe this is his first event of the APP World Tour, so he'll be right in the mix now. And also April probably holding on to her lead. Yeah. And Esperanza getting some nice points. So, it's been a great weekend here, you guys. Appreciate you tuning in as always. The appworldtour.com. Make sure to check out the Instagrams. Check back on Facebook with all the updates. We will be doing an awards ceremony here later today. And we're looking forward to the next event in Korea. I unfortunately will not be making it to Korea, but the APP will be there, and
more live stream action.
Yeah. So I think we're going to close it down here from London. Dave Bainey, Ian McCarthy. We want to say thank you very much for tuning into the live feed, and appworldtour.com. We'll see you next time.
Yeah.